Hello everyone, welcome to my March TBR. We are going to pick out 6 books for my TBR using my TBR jar. I do already have a couple of books on my TBR that we will talk about at the end of the video, but let's just hop right in and pick out some of my books because I am so excited to pick out my books. I also have books on my radar that I want to read in reading vlogs in March, so we are booked and busy for March and I am very excited about it. March also means we are so close to being able to sit outside and read, which I am so excited about. That's one of my favorite things to do in the springtime. So let's pick our first book. A book your significant other picked. Okay, this is interesting. Technically, Jack didn't pick out this book, but he bought it for me for Christmas because he knew I wanted to read it really badly. That is Alchemized, which would work perfectly for this prompt because this is also my book club's book for March. I have an in-person book club with some of my friends and we picked this book to read for March, so that would work perfectly, but it feels like cheating because he technically didn't pick it. He just bought it because he knew I wanted to read it, but I guess like he didn't have to do that, so he kind of did pick it. Am I bending the rules here with this one? Maybe a little bit. Let me see what else we have. Also, this is my immediate TBR. This entire cart I have not read, so I will mostly try to be picking from these books, but I also haven't read these books or the books on the shelf above me. But like I said, my entire cart is my immediate TBR. I might have to push you back some because you can't really see the bottom of the shelf, but this is my immediate TBR. This is also my 2026 TBR, so we will mostly be picking from here. Oh, let's see. You know what actually is a good one for this one? We Were Strangers ones. I think I am gonna pick this one. Even though I know I have to read Alchemized in March, I think I'm gonna do this one because Jack got me this book for Christmas, maybe last year or the year before. I've had it on my TBR for a really long time, and he did pick this book out for me. He bought this book and a handful of other books from the thrift store for me because we were doing like thrifted gifts, which I love to do that, by the way. I still to this day do that with my friends and family for Christmas. We thrift each other gifts. But anyways, I think I'm gonna choose this one. This is We Were Strangers ones, and all I know about this one is that it takes place during World War II and it takes place in America. And our main character is a Jewish doctor, but he immigrated to America from Germany to try to escape this war. And I love World War II historical fiction, and I have not read a book like this before. I feel like most of the World War II fiction books I've read have taken place outside of the United States, so I'm excited to read this and get a different perspective on World War II. So this is the first book going on to our TBR. And unfortunately, I am putting Alchemized back, but you best believe if it fits for another prompt, I'm picking it. All right, prompt number 2. Oh, dropped one, but that's okay. This is a book from your favorite genre. I'm actually not sure what I would say my favorite genre is, so this one's a little bit tricky for me. I feel like my favorite genre kind of switches between historical fiction, romance, and just like general fiction, I guess, would probably be like my top 3. Anyways, so I don't know what I would say is my favorite though. I feel like if I picked a book for any of those genres, it would work. Let's see. Maybe I'll pick Before We Were Strangers because this is on my 2026 TBR and I really want to focus on that TBR so I can get it done for sure. This is also a then and now timeline and I've heard amazing things about this book. So this one is a top contender. Let's see. I also just got this book. This is Lucky Penny and this is by an author that I love. This is Kathereine. I've read one of her books before and I really liked it, so this one is very high on my list, but I did quite literally just buy this book and I feel like I should focus on books that have been sitting on my TBR for a really long time. I don't know, this is hard. I feel like I should pick Before We Were Strangers simply because it's been sitting on my TBR for a long time. Plus I am so intrigued by this one because it's such a popular book. I want to see if it's a book that I like. I feel like you can tell by the cover of these books, but they are both romances, but I kind of am leaning towards Before We Were Strangers simply because this book is a popular one and it's one I'm really intrigued by because I want to gauge how I feel versus how everyone else has felt about this book. Plus it is a second chance romance and I love a good second chance romance. Actually, I think these both might be second chance romances. Yup. Oh, I forgot I really want to read this book. This is hard. This is really hard. I'm gonna choose Before We Were Strangers. It has a leg up because it's on my 2026 TBR, so I feel like I need to get to it ASAP. But Lucky Penny is on my immediate radar. I want to read this book so bad. Sorry, I feel like that's annoying, but I just moved you around so you could see more of my books. But anyways, Before We Were Strangers is the next book going on the TBR. Like I said, all I know about this one is that it is a second chance romance and it takes place in New York City, and I believe they kind of see each other through the train, through the subway, and that's like their first time seeing each other in maybe 15 years. I don't know. That's crazy. So hopefully I enjoy this one because I'm a big second chance romance lover. All right, book number 3. Oh, this is a popular book. Guys. You guys already know I'm gonna pick Alchemized for this prompt. If you don't know what Alchemized is, and honestly I don't know a ton about this book and I kind of want to keep it that way just because I like to go into my books as blind as possible, but I believe this book was originally Manacled, which was a Hermione and Draco fanfic, but the author changed some things and got it traditionally published, so I am so excited to read it. I am so sad that I can't read Manacled because I did not know that that existed until I heard people talking about this book, and I was like, oh, that is actually devastating, because I feel like I would have eaten up that book, especially if I read it in like middle school. I would have loved it so much. But anyways, I have high hopes for this one, and that is literally all I know about it, as well as the fact that it is a fantasy book, and it is so heavy, you guys. Plus it's like 1,000 pages or something like that, so I need to get to reading or I'm not gonna be able to go to book club this month. So very excited that this is officially going onto the March TBR. We have a really nice array going on here so far for the March TBR. I'm really excited. We have historical fiction, a romance, and a fantasy. I am so excited. Okay, prompt number 4. Okay, this is an author you've never read. I feel like I have a lot of authors that I've never read before on my TBR, mostly because I thrift a lot of my books and then I will just like grab books that I think sound interesting or books that I've heard before. Also, I feel like a lot of people gift books to me, which is just so much fun. I love getting books as a gift, especially because it feels like I don't have to like pick out the book. Like, it's exciting to me to have someone else pick out a book for me. Anyways, I say that because I'm thinking of picking up Amazing Grace Adams. This has been on my TBR for a while and my mom bought me this book, but I also have not read any Penelope Douglas book, and I have Credence on my TBR. I don't know, this one is not giving me like fun spring vibes, but I kind of feel like I should read it soon. It's giving me creepy vibes. I have no idea what the genre of this book is, but why does it look like that? Why does the cover look like it would be a thriller? It's definitely not a thriller. I think it's a romance for some reason. Let me look this up. Okay, this is a dark romance. I don't think I knew that. I don't think I've read a dark romance. I think maybe I've read one. Is Phantasma considered a dark romance? Because I've read that and I would consider it a dark romance, but I don't know if it's like actually considered a dark romance. I am not super into dark romance, but I do like dark academia and I like romance. I don't think that that has anything to do with one another, but it might, could, maybe, I don't know. I think we might have to see though, because I think I want to put this on my TBR, and it has been sitting on my physical TBR for years, and that is mostly because I find this book so intimidating. Like, every time I pick up this book, not only is it like chunky for a romance book, but I'm just so intimidated by it, especially because the back sounds a little concerning. I cannot lie. I'm not gonna read the entire back to you, but basically it sounds like our main character is kind of going through it. Her parents suddenly pass away and everything in her life changes, and her father's stepbrother is her only living relative. So her father's stepbrother kind of takes her in. His name is Jake, and it specifically says on the back that her main character is 2 months shy of being 18. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like little things on the back of this book that are like, it says she's sent to live with him and his 2 sons in the mountains of Colorado. It says our main character learns that these men now have a say in what she chooses to care and not care about anymore, as the 3 of them take her under their wing, teach her how to work and survive in the remote woods far away from the rest of the world. She slowly finds her place among them and as part of them, and she also realizes that lines blur and rules become easy to break when no one else is watching. One of them has her, the other one wants her, but he's going to keep her. That sounds crazy to me. Like, maybe this book will tell me if I am cut out for dark romance or not, but I am so scared. But we're gonna put it on the TBR anyway, and you know what? If I don't like it, I can DNF it, okay? It's okay. I'm allowed to DNF things. You're allowed to DNF things. It's okay. We're gonna be fine. Maybe. Okay, we're adding it to the TBR. That is book number 4, and probably the one I am most intimidated by on my entire physical TBR. All right, time for prompt number 5. I've got to replenish my TBR jar soon. We're getting empty over there. Okay, this is a book that is over 500 pages. I can't lie, I'm starting to get nervous here because it feels like a lot of our books are thick. Or I guess maybe that's just because I picked 2 thick books back to back, and now I'm about to pick another thick book, so that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't look like any of the books on my 2026 TBR are going to be over 500 pages. I think this might be the thickest book I have left, and it's 473 pages. This is Emma by Jane Austen. Let's see what I have that's over 500 pages. Wait, why did I think that this was over 500 pages? It seems thick to me, no? I don't know why I thought that. Okay, maybe 500 is a lot thicker than I thought it was. Okay. I'm struggling. It's over 500. That's a good sign. Ah, we're so close. This is 470, 480. No, 440. I wanted to read that one. Okay, so I just learned that 500 pages is a lot thicker than I thought it was because every book I was picking up was like 400-ish pages. And this is quite literally the only book on my physical TBR that I have like even a slight interest in reading that is over 500 pages. So I'm a little bit, actually I'm not just a little bit surprised, I'm very surprised by that. This is Cloud Cuckoo Land and I actually very recently thrifted this, so I'm not entirely sure what it's about. Okay, so I just read the back of the book and I feel like that did not help me at all. It might be a dystopian unless I just misunderstood the entire back of the book. Okay, this says it's historical fiction, science fiction, and fantasy. So I feel like that's a lot of genres for one book, but that's okay. Basically, if I'm reading the back of the book, it sounds like our main character is living inside of the walls of the city when she finds this like really old book that I'm assuming she's not supposed to have her hands on. She's not supposed to be able to read it. And then there's someone living outside of the village and their paths will cross. And then we also have a present day timeline. The more I read the back of this book, the more I get confused, but this book has such good reviews and it was a National Book Award finalist and it made the New York Times list of 100 notable books of 2021. So those two alone, I feel like it's going to be good. Oh, I didn't realize that this is the same author of All the Light We Cannot See, which is another very popular book. So hopefully I will like this. I will say I did not love All the Light You Cannot See, but that's okay. We're gonna give him another try. Officially adding this to the TBR. Okay, we only have one more prompt to pick. Every time I shake this, my cat thinks it's a treat because his treats are in like a little glass jar. Oh, okay, this is an author's debut novel. I don't know if I have a debut novel physically, but I might have one on my 2026 TBR. I'm gonna have to look. I'm probably gonna have to do some digging as well. Okay, that was actually quicker than I thought it would be. I'm going to read Amazing Grace Adams by Fran Littlewood. This is her debut novel, which is exciting. And all I know about this book is that our main character is a bit older. I think she's about to turn 40. No, she's about to turn 50. And she's kind of in this pivotal moment in her life. She has kids, and I think she might be going through a divorce. Potentially. I don't entirely remember. It's been a while since I read the inside jacket, but basically it sounds like she's getting very fed up with everything and then she just kind of snaps and walks away from her life. Well, it says Grace is not walking away from her life, but rather towards it. Grace sets off across London, ultimately armed with a Love Island themed cake to win back her estranged daughter who has banned her from her birthday party. Okay, so I was right, she is going through a divorce, but it's her husband that's divorcing her. It says today's the day she'll remind her daughter that no matter how far we fall, we can always get back up again. Okay, this sounds sweet. It says it tells a story of a life, a marriage, a family set against a single day in an ordinary woman's life. It's a roller coaster ride of redemption and discovery and a powerful celebration of the fact that behind every ordinary woman is an extraordinary one. That sounds so fun. Okay, this is our final book that we are adding to the March TBR. Let's do a quick recap and then I will also talk about the books that I mentioned earlier in the video that I am also adding to my March TBR. These are the couple other books that I'm adding to the March TBR. The first two are from the library, which is why I'm adding them to the March TBR because I'm hoping to read them before I need to renew them. So the first is Holding Pattern, and it's been a while since I read through the inside of this book. I just remember thinking it sounded really interesting when I was in the library, and this is also a new author to me, so I'm excited to explore some new authors with this one. And then I also have A Dog's Journey, which is the second book in A Dog's Purpose series, and I am so shocked that I never read this book because I am obsessed with A Dog's Purpose. That is a 5-star book for me. I love that book so much and I recommend it to any and every single dog lover out there. That is just one of my favorite books of all time. It is a story told from the dog's perspective and it is a heart-wrencher for sure, but it is so good, it's worth it. And then let's do a quick recap of all the books we picked together in this video, starting with Before We Were Strangers, which is a romance, Cloud Cuckoo Land, Credence, which is my first Penelope Douglas book and my first-ish dark romance book. Dipping my toe in the water of dark romance with that one, which I'm a little bit nervous about, but it's okay. And then I have We Were Strangers Once, Amazing Grace Adams, and finally, I think this is the book I am most excited for. This is Alchemize. I am so excited for my March TBR and I'm so excited to film videos with these books, and then let me know what book you are most excited to read in March. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!